afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Live at 4 on this Thursday.
A little snow on the ground.
A lot more up north, but just to whiten things up.
And just a pretty snow falling this afternoon here on the west side of Madison.
So we'll get to the weather in just a bit, but first, topping our news today, day 3 in the trial of the double homicide trial of former Badger football player. We'll hear from some of the family of the victims.
Being divisive and dishonest does not make for a good working relationship.
The Dane County Board's Black Caucus is not happy with the Dane County Sheriff. We'll tell you why coming up.
And Alec Baldwin will be charged in the shooting on the set of the movie Rust. We'll find out what he's facing. Let's take a look outside. That's a great shot.
I'd love a picture of that. Isn't that a great shot?
It is a great shot. A little snow on the Capitol. Cold and quiet, and Julian's in the backyard.
Let's just watch that. Can we continue that for a little bit?
It's looking like winter again.
Hi, Julian.
Hey, guys, and it is a mesmerizing shot over the Capitals right now, but let's talk about the snow. We didn't see a whole lot, but that's what we were expecting. We're looking at, well, as of right now, from our earlier totals, we had about 2.5 inches for Middleton, and for Sherwood, around 2 inches as well. Many areas around Dane County in itself saw around the 2-inch mark. If you were further west, 1 inch from around Madison and closer towards the southern parts of southern Wisconsin as well. So mainly the snowfall in itself was mainly into the far northwest, and we're still going to be dealing with a little bit of some flurries and some light snow showers. Right now here on the patio, we're dealing with a bit of some relatively big flakes, but it's not falling at a really rapid pace. So we're not going to be seeing too much more in terms of accumulations overnight, but we are still going to see throughout our map over the last 24 hours, the western and far north did see pretty let's call it significant snowfall totals over the last 24 hours. Now, over the next 3, we're going to still see just a couple of those clusters and bands of snowfall still starting to roll its way throughout much of southern Wisconsin. But heading into tonight, it's going to be cold, it's going to be cloudy, and it's going to be quiet. And temperatures will fall to around 25 degrees for Madison, around 31 for Janesville, and 27 for Platteville. For our traffic, however, well, things are not too bad, but on the eastern side of the belt line, we can see a bit of some slow spots closer towards about right off of John Nolan Drive. But other than that, still rather smooth as we're getting our 4 p.m. commute going for us. We'll talk more about what else to expect for the rest of the work week and a little preview of the weekend in a few moments. Until then, back to you guys.
All right, Julian, thank you. See you then. Biting words exchanged between Sheriff Calvin Barrett and the Dane County Board's Black Caucus ahead of the board's meeting tonight.
The board will vote at that meeting whether to put funding for the Dane County Jail project up to a referendum, a question that has Dane County leaders divided.
Our Braden Ross has more on this increasingly heated debate. Braden?
Yeah, the Dane County Jail Consolidation Project has been stalled for years, and now board members and Sheriff Calvin Barrett are pointing fingers about why. Thanks to inflation putting the project over budget, the current plan needs another $24 million to get going. Barrett wants to put the issue of funding up to a referendum after what he frames as months of intentional stalling by some on the Dane County Board. The Black Caucus plays blame on the Dane County Executive Joe Parisi for vetoing a plan for a 5-story jail the board approved in November, and they take issue with how Barrett characterized the problem.
Sheriff Barrett stood on stage with 3 white men, and in the finest tradition of Willie Lynch, attacked the integrity, the competence, and the fundamental intellect of his colleagues on the Dane County Board.
The Black Caucus says they'd like to see a smaller facility and criminal justice reforms aimed at lowering the jail population. The board will vote tonight on whether to put the funding up to a referendum, and we'll keep you updated on what they decide here on News 3 Now.
Braden, thank you. Day 3 in the murder trial of a former Badger football player led to tears and hugs in the courtroom today as families saw autopsy pictures of the victims.
Marcus Randall L. is charged with the 2020 murder of 2 Janesville women. That includes 2 felony charges of first-degree intentional homicide as well as felony weapons-related charges in the shooting deaths of 27-year-old Brittany McAdory and 30-year-old Sierra Winchester. A family member testified today, telling the court about her and Sierra's interactions with Randall L. in exchange for drugs. In her testimony, she shared how Winchester told her that she was scared of Randall L. but continued to interact with him.
At the beginning, she was terrified and she wanted to go back to her apartment. She was scared. And then next thing I know, we were like a whole little group. And then then he started thinking that she was switching out to drugs, and then here comes the fear back again.
Plus today, 2 people from a gas station where Randall L. allegedly stopped inside testified. You'll hear what they had to say coming up at 5.
The FBI is now offering a $25,000 reward for information on an arson attack at a pro-life group's Madison headquarters last spring. Wisconsin Family Action's office near the airport was damaged in May of last year, shortly after a leaked Supreme Court draft opinion indicated the court would likely overturn the landmark Roe v. Wade case. Officials with the FBI's Milwaukee field office said anyone who shares information that leads to the identification, arrest, and conviction of the suspects is eligible for the reward.
Students at East High School in Madison were briefly held outside this morning as firefighters investigated a gas leak. Firefighters were called to the school just before 8 a.m. for a report of a natural gas leak. The fire department says a large piece of concrete broke apart during demolition work in the school and hit a gas line in the school's boiler room. The construction company on site was able to stop the leak before firefighters got on scene. Since the school day had not started yet, students were held outside while the gas leak was addressed. The fire department monitored the air inside the school and allowed students back inside once it was deemed safe. The U.S. has reached its debt ceiling limit, forcing the Treasury Department to take steps to avoid defaulting.
Now it's up to Congress to raise the debt limit, but some lawmakers plan to hold out until they see changes made to future spending.
And that is setting up a showdown that could put a strain on the U.S. economy. Nicole D'Antonio has more from Capitol Hill.
The Treasury Department says it can no longer legally borrow to pay the debts Congress has already incurred and is asking lawmakers to raise the debt ceiling. Secretary Janet Yellen sent Congress a letter explaining some of the extraordinary measures the department is taking to prevent the U.S. from defaulting on debt, including shifting money between accounts and putting a temporary hold on some federal employee retirement payments and health funds for retired postal workers. That gives Congress until June 5th to raise the ceiling.
Why wouldn't we sit down now, set a budget, set a path to get us to a balanced budget?
House Republicans, especially those who demanded concessions to elect Kevin McCarthy Speaker, say they want spending cuts before they'll agree to raise the debt limit. Democrats say some things are non-negotiable.
There can be spending cuts. Let's talk about them, but never on Social Security, Medicare.
Even the back and forth here on Capitol Hill over raising the debt ceiling can have economic fallout that impacts us all.
Just go back to 2011, the last time we had a big impasse. The stock market went down by 14% over 4 weeks. The bond market went berserk and borrowing costs increased. We were looking at job losses, and it did take time to recover.
CBS News business analyst Jill Schlesinger says the battle over the debt ceiling could push the economy into recession.
We're already slowing down after this post-pandemic recovery. This is not the moment to have a fight like this.
House Speaker McCarthy and President Biden have yet to discuss their differences on raising the debt limit. Nicole D'Antonio, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And the White House says Congress has already agreed to the debts incurred, so it should raise the debt limit with no strings attached.
Authorities in New Mexico are charging actor Alec Baldwin and a crew member in connection with the fatal shooting of a cinematographer on the set of the unfinished film Rust. The Santa Fe District Attorney announced involuntary manslaughter charges against Baldwin for the 2021 shooting death of Helena Hutchins. Movie armorer Hannah Gutierrez-Reed will also be charged. The district attorney released a statement saying if any one of these 3 people, Baldwin, Gutierrez-Reed, or Assistant Director David Halls, had done their job, Helena Hutchins would be alive today. It's that simple. The evidence clearly shows a pattern of criminal disregard for safety on the Rust film set.
What we're talking about here is not an intentional killing. We're talking about a potentially lawful act that you engage in, but you were criminally negligent.
In a statement, Baldwin's attorney called the charges a terrible miscarriage of justice, saying Mr. Baldwin had no reason to believe there was a live bullet in the gun or anywhere on the movie set. Gutierrez-Reed also denies any wrongdoing. Prosecutors say they will formally file the charges by the end of the month.
In an emotional announcement, New Zealand's Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern is stepping down. In a televised address, Ardern, one of the world's most famous female leaders, explained her reasoning for resigning, describing her tenure as New Zealand's Prime Minister as the most fulfilling experience of her life. Ardern says there's no secret scandal behind her departure, just fatigue.
I know what this job takes, and I know that I no longer have enough in the tank to do it justice. I think the cumulative challenges that we've faced as a team, and they have been extraordinary, has taken its toll. I consider this job a privilege, but I am also human.
When Ardern became Prime Minister in 2017 at the age of 37, she was one of the world's youngest state leaders. Less than a year later, she had her first child. Ardern steered her country through turbulent times, including the aftermath of mass shootings at 2 mosques and the COVID-19 pandemic. But the latest polls indicate her Labour Party may face a difficult path to re-election come October. Her critics say she failed to deliver the transformational government she promised. Bowing out, Ardern says a leader has to know when to go, a sense of self-awareness that her admirers say has characterized her time in office.
The University Club at UW-Madison will open its doors on Monday for the first time since the pandemic began. The club is set to open January 23rd under the management of the Wisconsin Union. The building temporarily closed in March of 2020. The club will feature a casual dining space known as Union Commons. A fixed menu will include daily soup specials prepared at Memorial Union, sandwiches, and salads and snacks. The cafe will offer espresso drinks, coffee, tea, and homemade pastries.
Great place for people to meet, hang out, for students to study. It'll just be another wonderful kind of living room of the campus.
The club used to house rentable event spaces. The spaces will be unavailable when the club first reopens. However, Wisconsin Union staff are working to determine if those areas will be available in the future. While the club was closed, the union also brought in new furniture. They updated the signage and put on a fresh coat of paint.
I like the living room of the university.
Welcome back.
Yeah. Well, the mental health epidemic does not seem to be getting any better despite more attention being paid to it.
Coming up next on Live at 4, we'll look at an alarming trend in child suicide in Dane County. Stay with us.
You're watching News 3 Now, live at 4.
Summer's coming, and so are those warm, relaxing weekends. No matter where your adventures take you, we've got you covered at the new Lake Home and Cabin Show, January 27 through 29 at the Alliant Energy Center in Madison. Whether you're staying at a vacation rental, towing a teardrop trailer to sleep under the stars, or heading to a beloved family cabin, you'll find everything for your getaway lifestyle at the Lake Home and Cabin Show, January 27 through 29, Alliant Energy Center. Every weekend should be this fun.
Are you sick of the areas of your home being cold in the winter or hot in the summer? Your house is a complete system of components that need to work together, similar to the human body. Just like us, your home needs to breathe too. If we're letting our home breathe fresh air, we'll be healthier and regulate our temperature better. Wouldn't it be great if we could show you all the areas needing improvement in just minutes without tearing the house apart? That is what our thermal imaging does for you. It will show the temperature differences in areas of air exchange. Then you'll know what areas need to be improved. Just like going to the doctor, except these doctors do house calls. This will also help in preventing the entrance of harmful pollutants inside your house. You can now easily bring down the energy bills and have a durable and safe home environment with Fry Construction. Visit fryconstruction.com today for your free thermal imaging consultation and save 23% on select insulation services.
All right, team, we got a big project coming up. And it all starts with ordering promotional products.
I'm on it.
4imprint makes it easy to get the logoed products you're looking for. The latest in apparel, drinkware, bags, high-tech items, and more. You can be certain of getting it right at 4imprint.com.
Come on out. I'm on it.
4imprint, for certain.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. That's when I found this, the Brooks Night Guard. Now, the Brooks Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brooks Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to brooksnightguard.com and order yours today.
It's a foodie's paradise in this month's Madison magazine. Explore our editor's list of restaurants and chefs transforming the local dining scene. Then create an indoor Eden with our Homebody's Guide to Houseplants. Madison magazine, online and on newsstands now.
Want to know right now what the weather will be like tomorrow? Download the First Warn Weather app and you'll get my customized forecast for tonight and tomorrow.
The First Warn Weather app. Get it now. Powered by News 3 Now.
Welcome back. The family of an Illinois man who died after being treated by paramedics is expected to file a wrongful death lawsuit against the EMS workers and the company they work for.
The same Springfield, Illinois paramedics also face criminal charges. They made their first court appearance this morning via video link. The charges against Peggy Finley and Peter Cadigan stem from a call to help Earl Moore Jr. Police called for an ambulance on December 18th after the 25-year-old was hallucinating due to alcohol withdrawal. When Moore didn't respond, Finley is seen yelling at him and at one point tried to drag him across the floor.
Sit up! Sit up! Now! You're gonna have to walk because we ain't carrying you.
My heart hurt because I ain't gonna never see my son no more, ever. All because of those two people. She didn't even know Earl, but she act like she knew him, calling his name and dragging him like that.
Moore died less than an hour after arriving at the hospital. Finley's lawyer told CBS News the murder charges are an overreaching stretch, saying prosecutors are turning what at most might be negligence into a murder. Cadigan's attorney similarly says this was a tort, not a criminal case, and that his client is devastated and called the case highly unusual.
Colorectal cancer is the second leading cause of cancer deaths in the U.S. and is becoming more common in younger adults. German researchers followed 120,000 people ages 64 and older. They compared those who had a colonoscopy 10 or more years after an initial negative screening with those who were being screened for the first time. They found that the current 10-year screening intervals for colonoscopies are safe and that extending intervals between screenings may be acceptable, especially for women and younger people without gastrointestinal symptoms. Detection rates of abnormal growths were highest among men and people 75 years and older.
First-time jobless claims fell last week. That's according to newly released data from the Department of Labor. The dip of 15,000 claims was not expected. The decreased first-time unemployment insurance claims indicate that the labor market is still tight, but continuing claims have been on the rise.
Another down day on Wall Street as investors digested that latest batch of economic data. The Dow Industrials lost 252 points, ending the day at 33,044. The Nasdaq gave up 104 and the S&P 500 fell 29. Well, the American Academy of Pediatrics has declared child and adolescent mental health a national emergency.
Locally, there has been a dramatic increase in pediatric suicide-related emergency visits. In fact, one doctor at UW Health calls the increase a terrifying trend.
Dr. Allie Hurst is the medical director of pediatric emergency medicine at UW Health Children's Hospital. Thanks for being with us today.
Hi, Dr. Hurst. Good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
I want to make sure I get these numbers right. In 2012, there was about 15 patients a month that came in.
Right.
And last year, 2022, more than 40.
Right, $45 per month even.
What's going on?
So I think it's multifactorial. There's a lot of different things happening to children these days, and especially with the advent of social media, like added on to the pandemic that happened, just was incredibly socially isolating for them. So part of this is already we were seeing a trend nationwide and even you could say worldwide in increases in mental health issues in adolescence. And then you had the advent of social media, which isolates kids to their cell phone as their only social interaction sometimes during days of the week. And then you added on a pandemic where we were socially isolated even more so from our friends and sometimes family. Yeah, exactly. And so kids did not have that in-person connection that you should have while you're a developing adolescent to be able to figure out not only your privacy boundaries, because that's part of child development, but then also realizing what you should talk to your family and your parents about, especially when you are concerned and you are having self-harm thoughts.
There is probably nothing that makes a parent feel more helpless when your child is struggling like this. So a lot of people don't know what else to do. They go to the emergency room.
Exactly.
But what kind of resources are available locally if your child is in crisis?
So there's a couple of different things that you can do. One is talking to just your primary care provider, whether that's your pediatrician, whether that's a family medicine doctor, to try to figure out where you can get help and the help that you need right then. There's also online or texting threads like the 988 number. Not only can you call that for mental health help if you are actively suicidal, but you can also text the number and they can also help you get resources that you need.
What are some warning signs that parents should be on the lookout for?
So it's difficult because adolescents are really good at hiding what they don't want their parents to know. It's part of development. We know that this happens and it's expected. Something though that you can look out for are whether kids are withdrawn, they're not interacting not only with you but their friends, and sometimes even social media is used as an outreach modality. Kids put on social media when they have a cry for help if they are thinking about hurting themselves or if they have hurt themselves, and therefore friends can actually notify parents of other kids that have maybe gotten themselves into trouble or need help.
If a child makes any kind of a comment about harming themselves, you have to take that very seriously, right?
Because we don't know the depth of it. So some kids actually, and people in general with mental health issues, self-harm because it's actually a release. It makes them feel a different kind of pain than the emotional pain that they're feeling. And so that in and of itself is terrifying. And it's really difficult unless you're a mental health provider to know, is it because they're trying to hurt themselves, to kill themselves, or they're trying to hurt themselves for a different reason. But you don't know that until you ask.
Are some of the kids coming in marginalized?
Yes, that's correct.
And that's an added element.
Totally, because especially the fact that the LGBTQ plus population, minorities, people of color are also being affected by this way more than some other populations. They're already feeling ostracized by society, and then therefore just extrapolating this problem even further.
Do you think the pandemic exacerbated this?
I do.
How big of a factor do you think it plays?
I think it was fairly large, especially with schools shutting down, teachers not being able to recognize kids when they were at risk and when they were having any sort of behaviors or any sort of signs that they were struggling with their mental health issues. And so I think that especially also prevented us from detecting some of these things earlier on.
And we are not alone.
No, not at all.
This is nationwide, worldwide.
Exactly, which is why the AAP declared this a national state of emergency, because it is happening all around the country.
Parents, be aware.
Exactly.
Doctor, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Great information.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Hey, do you want to join our rewards program? Collect hot dog points to unlock access to our VIP lounge.
That doesn't seem very
rewarding. With a BMO Savings Builder account, you get a cash reward for every month you save.
Wait, so you're going to reward me for saving my own money?
You got it. A little incentive to help you get into the habit of saving.
That sounds great, but do you have VIPs?
Yeah, absolutely. We call them customers.
When a bank helps you make real financial progress, that's the BMO effect.
Hi, I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of Plexiderm. And if you haven't tried Plexiderm, we've created the best offer yet with our New Year's Plexiderm 10-minute challenge. All it takes is 10 minutes to reduce the appearance of under-eye bags, wrinkles, and crow's feet. Even the 11 lines between your eyes are visibly gone in minutes. Plexiderm works so well that celebrities in Hollywood and people just like you feel years younger in minutes. This is why I'm letting people try it for only $14.95 this New Year at plexidermtrial.com.
So I've had under eye bags for a very long time and it sucks. I have spent so much money on tons of eye creams, eye gels. Finally, I tried something called Plexiderm, and I'm not joking. It works. When I do a collage and everything is done, it looks amazing. That is exactly how Plexiderm makes me feel. I put it on my face, and somehow, some way, I look together, which is amazing. I'm Jackie, and I took the Plexiderm 10-minute challenge, and so should you.
I'm Neela. I'm 61 years old. I'm a professional personal trainer. It's so important to be in good health and to be fit and take care of yourself. How it makes you feel inside is amazing. And yet, when you look in the mirror, what you see necessarily isn't what you feel inside. Plexiderm, seriously, honest to God, it's amazing. There's nothing there, like the bags are gone.
The instant results are from naturally based silicates found in shale rock. Once applied, your skin tightens and firms, rapidly reducing the appearance of under eye bags and wrinkles in minutes. This new year is the best time to try Plexiderm at our startup price of only $14.95. So if under eye bags make you look tired or feel older, take action this new year and see that younger looking you. Your solution is at plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms. If you or a loved one were stationed at Marine Corps Base Camp Lejeune between 1953 and 1987 and were later diagnosed with cancer, Parkinson's disease, or other serious health effects, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Call right now to find out if you qualify.
Call 1-800-336-0524. 1-800-336-0524.
Well, take a look at this. It's an attempt to build the world's largest pizza, now underway in Los Angeles. With a planned surface area of 14,101 square feet, the mega pizza will be divided up into more than 68,000 slices once it's completed. Pizza Hut is the company behind the plan to enter the record books with their massive pie. To make the pizza, rectangular slices of pizza dough are laid along the base of the pizza. Then sauce is painted on before cheese and pepperoni are added. A cooking device then hovers over the pizza to cook it. Once finished, a total of 13,653 pounds of dough, 4,900 pounds of sauce, over 8,800 pounds of cheese, and roughly 631,000 regular and cupped pepperoni will be used to make the gigantic pie.
And then what will they do with it?
They're going to give it away to food banks and homeless people.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Yes, it must be refrigerated. That's a good question. Is the warehouse refrigerated?
Most of them are.
Yeah, that's cool.
Well, Taco Bell is bringing back its fan-favorite crispy chicken wings.
The bone-in wings coated in a queso seasoning will be on the menu for a limited time only. We're really trying to make you hungry today. 8 wings will cost you $7. The limited time offer starts next Thursday, and it runs through February 9th.
Well, at least it's cost-effective.
Yeah.
Pizza and wings. We're not trying to eat healthy.
No, right, exactly.
Just eat.
It's just got to live a little.
And a little snow fell.
Yeah, roads are in pretty good shape, though. I guess it was warm enough to melt some of that snow.
Absolutely, especially since it was heavy and wet. Things were really easy to manage for today. We're going to talk about a little bit more snow that's on the way for the rest of this evening, but it's a quiet weekend is on tap. We'll walk through the first one forecast after the break.
For back pain, I've always been a take 2 and call in the morning guy. But my new doctor recommended Salonpas. Without another pill upsetting my stomach, I get powerful, effective, and safe relief. Salonpas, it's good medicine.
Do you have a coffee smile? Drinking coffee causes yellow teeth for thousands of people just like you. And whitening toothpaste just doesn't make those stains go away. Introducing Power Swabs, the first teeth whitening system that lifts coffee stains off your teeth in less than 5 minutes without whitening strips or trays.
The Power Swabs were so easy to use. I don't have to have strips sitting on my face for an hour. I don't have to have a foam tray where I feel like I'm going to gag or I'm going to go play football. I've tried like every over-the-counter whitening because, you know, I'm one of those people that I'm like obsessed with white teeth.
So with the strips I've used in the past, most of them are like you got to leave it on for 30 minutes and the whole experience is just not comfortable. But with Power Swabs, I just snapped it open and rubbed it on and it was good to go.
This didn't sting, it didn't burn, it didn't have an aftertaste. It was just a swab and I just got to rub it on my teeth, and that was it.
The secret is a tooth detergent and whitening agent developed by Dr. Martin Ginniker that lifts stains off of your teeth. Power Swabs remove stains on natural teeth, veneers, bonding, caps, and crowns. The best part is you just swab your teeth for 5 minutes and you'll have whiter teeth. No more sitting at home with a whitening strip or tray in your mouth for 30 minutes twice a day.
When I use these whitening strips, I noticed when I would drink, I would get this crazy sensitivity. It would go right to my brain, and I'm like, I hate this. So why do I have to go through the monstrosity of this pain just because I want to whiten my teeth? With Power Swabs, there was zero sensitivity.
Within the first day with the Power Swab, I noticed there was a difference. I really love the fact that you're able to go individually on each tooth and make sure that it's going to be wider.
Call for your 5-minute solution to whiter teeth. Whiten your teeth this new year by ordering Power Swabs and receive up to 50% off the regular price. Yes, 50% off the regular price. Shipping is free, plus you'll receive a free Quick Stick pen. Visit powerswabs.com or call the number on your screen.
Right now with Papa Murphy's, we've got a great deal.
Which means I make more great pizza.
Like our $9.99 XLNY pizza. It's everything you'd expect from a classic New York-style pizza, hot and fresh out of your oven. Order now at papamurphys.com.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Well, I hope you got to enjoy your Thursday's snow day. Even though many of us didn't see a whole lot of snowfall, we still got a nice little decorative snow throughout many areas of southern Wisconsin. But our friends to the further north did see quite an abundance of it. Now, taking a look at our radars of right now, throughout Dane County, we're still holding on to a bit of some light flurries and snow showers that continue to push themselves east. But to the south, from Monroe to Platteville and our friends in Janesville, looking to get another round of some of that snowfall by the time we get into the rest of this evening. Now, that system was rather robust. It was just that we were south of really the main events. So many areas, taking a look at our snowfall reports, were what we were expecting, between the 1 to 3 to 2 to 4 inches of snowfall throughout much of southern Wisconsin, especially for Madison in itself. Just outside the studio, we did measure about almost 1.5 inches of snowfall, but you can see from Lodi to Middleton, mainly areas to the west, saw close to about 2 inches of snowfall or even a little more. And just to the north, near the Dells, they got around 3 inches, with Baraboo close to 3 inches themselves. But taking a look at our friends to the southwest, Platteville still dealing with a bit of that wet snow as we continue throughout the rest of tonight. And on top of it, so are we. Looking at a little bit of that light snowfall and some flurries. But looking ahead, it's going to be ending by the time we get into the later parts of this evening. But it will be cloudy and temperatures will still be into the lower 30s. It's not going to feel too bad until we get into the overnight hours. But temperatures are going to fall into the upper to middle 20s throughout much of southern Wisconsin. But the good news is we're not going to be seeing too much snowfall heading into our Friday. That's going to be really disrupting any kind of commute. Now, as we get into the rest of this evening, over the next couple of hours, it'll actually be good for you to shovel anything like your driveway or either sidewalk if you haven't already. Getting into the rest of tonight's, the 5 p.m. commute is going to be rather fine. And then later into our Thursday overnight hours, well, temperatures are going to fall. We're looking for a little bit of a break in some cloud cover. And as we're waking up for Friday morning, 7 o'clock, heading out the door, a little bit of a breeze coming in from the northwest, some of those breaking in cloud cover. So some of us will see a nice little sunrise, but for us here in Madison, we're looking at those clouds to still stick around a bit as we head into around the noon hour. Lunchtime, upper 20s, still holding on some breezy conditions. 5 p.m., middle 20s, and cloudy with also the winds starting to taper off just a bit. But the thing is, it's going to be rather quiet throughout the course of our Friday, and heading into our Friday nights, well, it's just going to be rather cold. Lower 20s, we're going to be back into our forecast, dropping even further once we get into our Saturday morning with cloudy conditions and a chance of seeing a couple of flurries starting to develop getting into our Saturday nights. But taking a look at our weekend, Saturday, 28 degrees looks to be our high. Going to see some showers developing going into our evening and nighttime hours, which will lead into our Sunday morning to see a couple of showers. But overall, temperatures are going to stay rather normal to this time of year, which will be around 27 degrees. So not too bad, but outside of a couple flurries and snow chances, it's actually going to be a rather calm few days as we get into the weekend and heading into next week. Lower 30s, upper 20s, we're staying into the normal temperatures for this time of year. Getting into late January, typically we see our high temperatures into the upper 20s. our overnight lows are actually supposed to be around 12. So we're going to stay rather mild for that over the weekend. But next week, especially going into next weekend, we're going to fall into a little bit of a colder pattern. But overall, guys, can't really beat this right now.
Oh, it's nice to be normal for a change.
For a change, because we were anything but for the last few weeks.
Long time, yeah.
All right, Julian, thank you.
Thanks, Julian. Well, the Boscobel Hotel was built in 1865, and the Gideon Bibles were started there. Here's a good trivia question for you. In 1898.
But we did not visit the hotel back in 1985 because of that. Here's this week's Traveler Throwback Thursday.
The sign outside the Boscobel Hotel and Restaurant is supposed to announce today's feature. The sign is blank today, but that doesn't mean there's nothing special inside. The dining room is packed for lunch. The waitresses are busy taking orders and waiting on customers. Nothing special about that until waiter Wayne Roth comes out. That's when the dining room here becomes a little special.
Barney Carney promised he'd be true to Mario the day he went away to war about a year ago.
Wayne has studied music all his life, and last August he got a job here. He started singing once in a while when he tended bar or waited on tables, and now he's known as
the singing waiter of Boscobel.
Write down and write myself a letter and make believe it came from you.
We get a lot of tourist trade here, and I inevitably get somebody from Chicago or for the Twin Cities or from Madison will come stop down, and I'll burst into song. They just kind of stop in mid-chew. Go, what are you doing here?
And write myself a letter and make believe it came from you.
Here's your bread.
Actually, every time I walk in this building, I'm on stage.
And it starts with a capital C. Cuddles, I love to cuddle up with cuddles.
Wayne is making quite a name for himself in this area. People apparently like a song served up with their salads. He puts a smile on the face of everyone he serves. Well, almost everyone.
Well, I did that one wrong.
Wouldn't you know it, there's a critic in every crowd.
Happy trails to you until we meet again.
Won him over.
What a voice. Wow.
Yeah. The Central House restaurant inside the Boscobel Hotel is still up and running, only open on Fridays and Saturdays, though unfortunately Wayne no longer waiting tables there. Yeah, he's got a great voice.
That's fantastic.
Well, coming up next year on Live Before Our Brady Mallory tells us about a woman who's celebrating 50 years on one job. It's a remarkable story.
And then coming up next hour at 5, day 3 of the Marcus Randall trial. Reporter Catherine Merck has been in court all day, and she'll update us as the trial continues.
Hey, I just got a text from my sister. You remember Rick, her neighbor?
Sure. He's the 76-year-old guy who still runs marathons, right?
Sadly, not anymore.
What? You mean...
Mm-hmm. Just like that.
Wow. So sudden. We're not about to have the we need life insurance conversation again, are we?
No, we're having the we're getting coverage so we don't have to worry about it conversation.
So you're calling about the $9.95 a month plan from Colonial Penn?
I am. We put it off long enough. We are getting that $9.95 plan today.
Is it time for you to call about the $9.95 plan? I'm Jonathan from Colonial Penn Life Insurance Company. Sometimes we just need a reminder not to take today for granted. It could be the death of someone you know or a health scare. That's why today could be a great day to call for free information about Colonial Penn's $9.95 plan. If you're age 50 to 85, you can get guaranteed acceptance whole life insurance starting at just $9.95 a month. There are no health questions, so you can't be turned down for any health reason. This is permanent coverage. Just pay your premiums for lifelong security. The $9.95 plan is Colonial Penn's #1 most popular whole life plan. Options start at just $9.95 a month. That's less than 35 cents a day. Your rate can never go up. It's locked in for life. Don't put it off. Take the first easy step. Call today for free information. And you'll also get this free beneficiary planner. So call now.
Call 1-800-290-3399 for your free information and free gift. That's 1-800-290-3399. There's no risk or obligation. That number again is 1-800-290-3399. 1-800-290-3399. Call now.
Hello, Colonial Penn?
At Lawton Cates, your life counts is more than just a slogan. It's being prepared for all the challenges you may face after a serious injury. It's confronting every aspect of your case with honesty, integrity, and innovative solutions that have earned us a reputation for excellence in representing the injured. It's no wonder so many clients refer their own friends and family to our team of dedicated professionals year after year. Your life counts. Lawton Cates. Call today for a free consultation.
Coming up at 5, continuing coverage of another emotional day in the double homicide trial of a former Badger. Catherine Merck conveys the court's reactions to forensic testimony.
Snow showers and flurries will end this evening. Temperatures will be a little closer to normal through the weekend. Tomorrow and Saturday will be dry, but a little snow is likely Saturday night and Sunday morning. I'll let you know how cold it'll get at 5.
And at 6, we examine a Republican push on the Assembly floor today to add a work requirement for adults without children who want to get welfare in Wisconsin. What this all means tonight at 6.
Wow. Giving our weather satellite a spin, Miami, Florida. Sun setting. Great city.
76 degrees today. That's just to warm you up on a snowy Thursday here in
Our friends at Channel 10 down there.
Yeah.
Our old producer of this show is now working there.
Michael Freilich, yeah.
Well, statistics show it's common for the average individual to stay at a job for about 4 years before getting a new one. The next woman is above average in many ways.
Joanne Johnson is celebrating a huge work milestone, and you'll find out why her connection to her employer started on her very first day. Not her first day of work, the first day of her life. Brady Mallory explains.
There's a saying.
Take a few.
If you love your job, you'll never work a day in your life.
All of their services and their hours impact the patient's experience.
By that measure, then, Joanne Johnson says in the last roughly 18,250 days at St. Mary's Hospital, she hasn't lifted a finger.
I've never wanted to leave ever for a day in the past 50 years.
Truthfully, though, Johnson has worked very hard in one place for the last half century.
Here, when I walk through the doors, I feel like I'm at home.
That's not too far off. When most people say they've spent their entire life where they work, they're exaggerating. Not Johnson. You were born here, met your husband here, had your children here. I mean, I think you're stuck here.
I look at myself as probably an icon here, one that can't be changed or removed.
Johnson started at St. Mary's as a teenager in 1972, and she has no plans to stop anytime soon.
Well, Joanne's really an institution within an institution here.
St. Mary's is celebrating Johnson's career and her outstanding impact. First of all, Johnson oversees about 380 volunteers and says she can name them all.
Earlier today we had Barb and we had Gloria. We had, yesterday we had, Pablo's typically here, Bill, Gary, Marcia, John.
Okay, we don't have a lot of time, so let's just stop here and say we believe her. Piles and piles of photographs show all of the work Johnson has done to help patients. She even co-created the No One Dies Alone program to make sure everyone has someone with them in their final moments.
I feel like my purpose is here, and to help improve the quality of life for those around me.
SSM Health Chaplain Father Pat Norris says Johnson just wants to help everybody.
I think Joanne has this true calling to be with people, to reveal God's healing presence.
When Johnson was born here, she says her parents joked they had no room for her and she should just stay at St. Mary's. In the best way possible, she did.
I believe that my parents are up in heaven, looking down with pride that I'm still here.
Joanne has been making a difference here every day for 50 years, and that is just marvelous and something to celebrate.
When Joanne Johnson says she's never worked a day in her life, obviously that's not true, because in 50 years and counting, she's done one hell of a job.
My advice is for everyone to find their purpose and in life. And if you believe in that purpose, you'll go far in life.
Brady Mallory, News 3 Now.
And Johnson also helped establish the Ronald McDonald Family Room and Lights of Love program.
Way to go, Joanne. Congratulations on 50 years of leadership and service.
Long time. Yeah. Well, still to come before the pandemic has changed the way newlyweds honeymoon.
CBS travel reporter Wendy Gillette tells us how honeymoons have changed. She reports from sunny Hawaii when Live at 4 continues.
Yes, I'm a smoker. And yes, I'm aware I should quit. I get pressure from everyone I love and everything around me.
Smoking is really, really bad for you.
Yet sometimes that pressure alone is enough to make me want to light up.
The Wisconsin Tobacco Quit Line. No judgments, just free help and medications. Without the lectures, call the Wisconsin Tobacco Quit Line at 1-800-QUIT-NOW.
Isn't it time you got a great night's sleep on the most recommended mattress in America? Tempur-Pedic mattresses are designed to make aches and pains a thing of the past by relieving pressure points and supporting the body as no other mattress can. Right now, Queen Tempur-Pedics start at just $40 per month when you use Steinhaffel's 72-month financing. It's time you got a great night's sleep. Shop in-store or online at steinhaffels.com. Relax, it's Steinhaffel's.
Wisconsin. It's easy to take for granted how we warm up. But what if you couldn't warm up so easily? For many, it's a reality they can't ignore. Working families, elderly, disabled, and veterans struggling to keep their heat and power on in the dangerous cold of winter. If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our energy, water, and emergency rental assistance providers are working together to keep you safe in your home. No one deserves to suffer when we can help each other.
Cold winter weather's here, so why feel it inside your own home and in your wallet? USA Insulation's premium injection foam fills every crevice of your walls, even going over your existing inferior insulation. Our foam gives you high-tech comfort and saves you money on utility bills year-round. So stop bundling up and start building savings. Call now and get up to a 30% tax credit and low monthly payments.
USA Insulation.
Did you know that Wisconsin Vision offers telehealth eye exams? I just scheduled my telehealth eye exam easily on their website. Once in store, a tech helps get me started and then pre-checks my eyes. See my eye on the screen? Then I have my telehealth eye exam virtually with a licensed optometrist on the TV.
Everything looks great, Kate. You're going to love your new prescription.
Ask us about our $59 eye exam. Wisconsin Vision. See more life.
Memories matter. This bend on Cox Hollow Lake was one of Dad's favorite fishing holes. Crest Funeral and Cremation Service helped us make sure he's never forgotten. Making it personal. It's how you heal. We are Crest. We truly believe your memories matter.
And a quick look at our traffic as of right now. Good thing is that we're not looking at a whole lot of snowfall that's going to be interrupting our traffic flow because it's rather smooth along the Beltline and even for the interstate. However, there is a crash on US 51 eastbound or northbound as of right now, but it's only really blocked the right shoulder. So otherwise, traffic is still moving rather smoothly, especially along I-39 south and northbound as of right now. It's going to do it for traffic. Let's go ahead and send it over to you guys.
All right, Julian. Boston Dynamics humanoid robot Atlas demonstrated jaw-dropping new skills in a new video titled Atlas Gets a Grip, where he, or it, or whatever, performs new moves inspired by industrial and construction-related tasks. Atlas can pick up and move objects of different sizes, materials, and weights while staying balanced. For the finale there was. He performed an inverted 540-degree multi-axis flip and then does a fist bump.
Fascinating and terrifying.
But it's... yeah. I need a vacation. Well, the way couples honeymoon has changed since the pandemic.
Not only how long they travel, but how much money they spend.
CBS News correspondent Wendy Gillette reports from Hawaii, a community in the island of Maui.
Mark and Susan, many honeymooners are traveling differently in two ways. They're staying longer and they're spending more money at resorts like those here in Wailea, where it seems like there's perpetual sunshine and plenty of love to go around.
Maui is a honeymooner's paradise with activities like outrigger canoeing, whale watching, and luau's. It's what brought honeymooners Will and Cortland McDougal from Dallas to Marriott's Wailea Beach Resort.
Growing up, I came to Maui a lot, and it's just a very special place to me, and I wanted to share it with my beautiful bride.
The property is in Wailea, home to 8 luxury resorts, including the Fairmont Kealani, which just unveiled a complete renovation of all of its suites and villas.
The Fairmont has found honeymooners are now staying almost twice as long compared to before the pandemic.
Additionally, we found that honeymooners are now no longer coming in waves. They're coming consistently throughout the year.
They're also spending more, according to the honeymoon registry Honey Fund, an average of $4,800 now compared to $3,400 pre-pandemic. Wailea Beach Resort finds couples are indulging in more private experiences like romantic oceanfront dinners and floating pool cabanas.
Through the pandemic, couples have felt like they have been refrained from what they can do, and they want to really be able to celebrate.
That's similar to what Jade Mountain in St. Lucia is seeing, but there, some couples never leave the unique rooms with no fourth wall called sanctuaries for much of their stay. And now those stays average a week compared to 5 days before the pandemic.
There is this new term that was created called revenge travel, and I feel we see a little bit of that influence also on our honeymoon, so maybe we have the revenge moons happening here.
We got special rates at the hotels. With sanctuaries that look like this, it's easy to get any kind of revenge travel you want at Jade Mountain, honeymooner or not.
Honey Fund also finds that couples are getting more in gifts these days. The average used to be around $1,600 before the pandemic. Now it's $1,950. Mark and Susan?
How much are the rooms at the hotels you mentioned?
Well, the ones in Maui, nothing's cheap. The ones in Maui are starting at around $900 a night, and the ones in St. Lucia around $1,500. So hopefully these honeymooners are getting very large gifts to pay for these expensive honeymoon trips.
You have no idea how good it sounds to hear a lawnmower in the background for us here in the frozen tundra. But how long are the flights to get to Maui?
Well, East Coast, where I came from, 5 hours to get to the West Coast, and then another 5 hours to get to Maui. There are direct flights from the mainland from 14 cities, but some of them are seasonal and only run a few days a week. There is a direct flight from New York. Unfortunately, I was going on a day when that was not running, so I had to do the longer flight, Mark and Susan.
Well, it's worth the wait and the trip. Wendy, thanks for being with us again.
No complaining. No complaining.
Sure. Great to see you, Wendy. Thank you.
What a beautiful shot.
That looks so beautiful.
And I was just in St. Lucia.
Yeah, where the Twin Peaks were. Yeah. You were just there.
Not at that hotel. We were cruising. Not $1,500 a night. Wow. All right, we'll have a final check of your forecast coming up.
Spark inspiration at the Build and Remodel Expo. Chat with local experts showcasing the latest innovations in home building and remodeling. Browse kitchen, bath, and new home construction trends. Visit buildremodelexpo.com for more information.
Hi, I'm Tim O'Brien, owner of The Healthy Place. I'm excited to tell you about our new Wild Theory CBD products that will get you high fives from everyone you know. Wild Theory's new groundbreaking formula has higher levels of the good stuff, and it packs surprising results. Is it legal in Wisconsin? Of course. Is it potent? You bet. Will you love it? I'm sure of it. Stop by one of our Madison locations or visit findyourhealthyplace.com. Type in high five and our website will hook you up.
Experience does count. When you're shopping for new furniture, a mattress set, or flooring, come to the experts at McGann Furniture and Flooring in Baraboo. Our experienced staff is well-trained in home decorating and will answer all your questions so you can buy with confidence. You'll find big city selection and an enjoyable shopping experience. And remember, we don't raise prices only to lower them later for a sale. Come see the difference experience can make at McGann Furniture and Flooring, downtown Baraboo.
Lake Ridge may be a new name, but it isn't a new bank. It's one built on over a century of community commitment. One equipped with all the knowledge and resources of 145 collective years of experience. Monona Bank and State Bank of Cross Plains are coming together as one. As Lake Ridge Bank, we're doing more together for you.
If we ignore that and just go on and build the bigger jail, we are letting everyone down in this community.
The Black Caucus pushes back against the Dane County jail plans. We share their objections coming up at 5.
News 3 Now's Call for Action team gets results.
We're taking action for you.
Nearly 700 cases closed, more than $500,000 recovered, and we're not finished yet. When you need help, call for action only on News 3 Now.
Some light snow showers and some flurries are continuing to move throughout much of southern Wisconsin as we continue into our evening hours. But Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti will walk through what else to expect coming up for the rest of tonight, coming up at 5.
At Harker Heating and Cooling, you can save a whole bunch of money when you buy a furnace. You know what's even better? Saving even more money when you purchase a furnace and an air conditioner at the same time.
Harker Heating and Cooling.
Family-owned Brothers Maine knows choosing appliances for a remodel or new build can be exciting and overwhelming. Our experienced staff has experienced it all as we've guided thousands of area families through appliance selection. Brothers Maine has a larger inventory and low-price deals that consistently beat competitors, including Big Box. You heard me, Big Box can't beat our prices. From sales to install, Brothers Maine does it all. Feel great about your purchases and feel like family at Brothers Maine.
Monsters of Destruction is coming, and coming with a vengeance. Monster Trucks, Top Trucks, Monster Truck Rides, new to Madison, Quad Wars, no rules, all things, no race to the finish you don't want to miss. Buckshot, War Wizard, Heavy Hitter against the King and Alcatraz, all ready for 3 massive shows. Every ticket is a pit pass. Come early to meet the drivers. Take a ride, snap a pic with a real monster truck. Don't miss the Monsters of Destruction at the Alliant Energy Center, January 27th, 28th, and 29th. Get your tickets now at monstersofdestruction.com.
There's a reason big dental bills often come as a shock, because sometimes you don't realize what's not covered until you get the bill. That's why affordable dental insurance from Physicians Mutual is important. It can give you benefits that go beyond what you get from more limited coverage plans. Because no one likes a big dental bill, especially if you're retired or on a fixed income. For a free information kit, call or go online now. This isn't some discount plan or preventive-only coverage. This is real dental insurance that helps cover over 350 procedures, like cleanings, fillings, crowns, bridges, root canals, even dentures, at any dentist you want. Dental insurance from Physicians Mutual Insurance Company helps cover preventive care, basic work, and major procedures, with no deductibles and no annual maximum. For your free information kit with all the details, call now or visit sendinfokit.com.
Physicians Mutual, Physicians Mutual.
At Harker Heating and Cooling, you can save a whole bunch of money when you buy a furnace. You know what's even better? Saving even more money when you purchase a furnace and an air conditioner at the same time.
Harker Heating and Cooling.
In today's Final Touch, wait until next year.
You hear that in Minnesota a lot. Longtime Vikings fan Isabella Montgomery says that she's been a fan since the franchise kicked off in Minneapolis in 1961. Isabella celebrated her 103rd birthday on the same day the Vikings were edged out of the playoffs by the New York Giants. Still, she had a special celebration. Fran Tarkington and Ahmad Rashad are her all-time favorites to wear the purple and gold. Although she remains a patient and loyal fan, she still wants a Super Bowl win under her belt, quote, before I go up there or down there. As a longtime fan of the franchise, she says she feels like she's already done her time in purgatory.
Well said.
Fingers crossed for Isabella. That's our time for now.